Good evening and welcome. Director Erdman, would you please lead us with the Pledge of Allegiance?
Everyone please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We can take a moment and bow our heads. Thank you.
I'd like to call this meeting to order. Roll call vote, please, Mrs. Martin.
All members are present. We have two members that are on phone conference call, which is Director Bucks and Director Murray.
Thank you. Announcements. An executive session was held on August 6th in the boardroom after committee meetings to discuss superintendent contract. We will now move to public comment. Please note that these are on agenda items only reflected in the minutes of the special meeting held on June 25th regarding Mr. Corby's contract. We don't have any green slips for that. Moving on to the approval of minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes for June 4th, 11th, and 25th?
So motion.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? This is a unanimous roll call vote. Your vote will be recorded affirmative unless I hear nay or I abstain. Motion carried. Moving on to adoption of agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
This is a unanimous roll call vote. You will be recorded affirmative unless I hear nay or I abstain. Motion carried. Presentations. We are happy to welcome Henna Columbu as our new student board representative. Would you like to come up to the podium?
Sorry. There are two things I would like to discuss today. First, for the first day of school, the Student Council will have a meeting on the 23rd that starts at 12 and lasts all day. We will be sticking positive quotes on pencils and sticking the pencils within lockers. The purpose of this is for students to kick off the school year with a positive note. Homecoming will be held on September 21st at 7 p.m. and it ends at 10. The doors will be open at 6:30. The theme for this year is Wonders of Disney. We wanted to decorate with different themes throughout the dance. So the walkway will be Rapunzel and Mulan. Jasmine and Aladdin will be for tickets. Merida will be the coat room, and Belle will be the food area. For homecoming festivities this year, we'll be having powder puff, spirit days, and hall decorating. Hall decorating will be held on September 13th. And the dance, we already have a DJ, which is one of the members' uncle, and we will be having between 5 and 8 chaperones.
Thank you so much. Henna, you are welcome to stay for the remainder of the meeting, but we know that you have a busy schedule, so if you would like to excuse yourself, you are welcome to do so. Thank you so much for coming and sharing this evening. We'll now move on to our public input session. These are for items that are on the agenda. We covered through this evening. We will begin with Lisa McCoy commenting on items on and off the agenda. Mrs. McCoy, you have 4 minutes to speak. Mr. Corby will be our timekeeper. And please state your name and your address.
Lisa McCoy, 445 South Lancaster. I'm commenting on number 4. There's quite a few of them that are in there. This has to do with the email that was sent to the board on August 5th for the questions that still were not answered in regards to some explanations as into responsibilities for the new counselor, more detail as into what those responsibilities are, how this affects the secondary counselors and their caseloads as well as the students. As that's not very clear, it was kind of brushed over at the committee meeting. I would also like a question answered about the complete overhaul and turnover of staff, aides, teachers, and other staff. I would like to know, while I understand that there is turnover, we have an obligation as a community members, educators, and taxpayers to make sure that our kids are safe and educated. How is this being accomplished if we continue to have aides and teachers and staff leaving? Have there been exit interviews to help figure out why this is happening? Has anyone taken the time to reach out to any of these folks to see what the challenges were? Have you looked at any of the reviews for the school district from former employees online? What are you folks doing to help to make sure that this district is a place that folks want to teach at and learn from? The next portion has to do with the AD and the assistant principal position. I understand why you guys did go this route. However, as I stated in my email, I have some major concerns about the choices for this position, especially after the AD that was in that position had done an extremely amazing job with the time that she was given after going through 3 other personnel to hold that position. We've been through so many changes this year. How on earth can you guys do this to these student athletes, these parents, and the community when we're continuously rolling over change, when we finally have a good person in there who is about the students, the coaches, and the parents? She managed to teach, be at every event. She missed her own kids' events for this position that she held. She was even at other school events, not sports related. Not to mention she was on call when others decided to make things more challenging for her and changing the locks and key passes over Christmas break without any knowledge. She was set up to fail from the beginning. And she continued to take every challenge and obstacle handed to her head on. She made sure that she did what was needed for the students, to include paying for starting blocks because a certain female principal refused to reimburse her after getting the okay to purchase them. She may have made enemies, but putting the students first was her top priority. She is about these students, these coaches, and she has done everything in her power to help make this district a better place for them, even though she has been treated like crap. She always had a smile on her face, no matter what she was dealing with or how she was being treated, as this can go for a lot of our teaching staff that have to deal with this as well. This district, in recent and past trends, has played sides. And if you happen to be on the wrong side, there is an extreme uphill battle that you have to climb and continue to climb, even after you have proven yourself.
Thank you, Mrs. McCoy. Our next individual to speak on items on the agenda is Lauren Yannick.
Hello, Lauren Yannick, 100 West Chestnut Street, Jonestown. I am commenting on the renewal of the YMCA to use the Jonestown Elementary Gym. I just wanted to put it out there that I have searched high and low through the internet to try to find the application to put in a bid to be considered for the SAC program that's run through Jonestown Elementary, and I was unable to find anything. So in the future, if you guys could please put it out to all of us so it's a more level playing field, and that way, you know, you guys have actual bids to choose from instead of just defaulting to the YMCA every year, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next individual is Andrew Murphy, commenting on superintendent and other items. Mr. Murphy, 4 minutes. Name and address, please.
Andrew Murphy, 1828 Glasgow Road, and not really against your candidate. I don't really know him. However, how much money are we spending on? You have not put it in the notes of the or in the agenda, so we don't know how much money you're. Is this going to be more than what we were paying the last superintendent? Also, from what I heard, you had 27 candidates. From my understanding is he has not held a superintendent position. Did any of the 27 candidates ever have superintendent experience? Because we need someone to come in, change the leadership of this district, get this back on track, and having some experience could be helpful. This does not meet, I'm not saying anything about his qualifications, just from my understanding is he never held the position, which doesn't mean he can't do the job. I'm just, of 27 candidates, I'm shocked if none of them had any experience there. Also, after our last superintendent, why are we giving him a 5-year contract? Why not give a 1-year contract renewable so that if it doesn't work out, we have an option? So that we're not just stuck in place with like how we were last time. Let's think of the district first. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any old business this evening? If not, Director Kelly, financial reports, please.
Motion to approve payment of vouchers and statement of cash transactions in the general fund in the amount of $2,536,998.77 for the month ended July 2019. There were no disbursements in the capital projects fund for month ended July 2019.
Second?
Discussion? Roll call vote, please, Mrs. Martin.
Klein,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Murray,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Cowlick,
Yes.
Erdman,
Yes.
Sell.
Yes.
All in favor, motion passed. Motion to approve the student activities account for the month ended June 2019 and June 2019 and July 2019, subject to audit.
Second?
Discussion? Roll call vote, please, Mrs. Martin.
Gray,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Murray,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Sekelic,
Yes.
Erdman,
Yes.
Sell,
Yes.
Yes.
all in favor, motion passed.
Thank you. Moving on to budget and finance, Director Kelly, please.
Motion to approve the following items for consent, items 1 through 6.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Brewer,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Murray,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Sekelic,
Yes.
Erdman,
Yes.
Sell,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
all in favor.
Thank you. Moving on to buildings and grounds, Director Brewer, please.
Okay, I motion to approve the following items, 2 items on the agenda.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Discussion? This is unanimous roll call vote. Your vote will be recorded as affirmative unless I hear nay or I abstain. Motion carried. Moving on to curriculum. Director Murray, would you like me to have Director England lead that section? Or are you? Okay. Director Murray?
Motion to approve the following items, items 1 through 4.
Second.
Discussion? Unanimous roll call vote. Your vote will be recorded as affirmative unless I hear nay or I abstain. Motion carried. Moving on to extracurricular, Director Klein, please.
Motion to approve the following 2 items.
Second.
Discussion?
At this point, I would just like to, for a point of clarification, last week there was a lengthy discussion on one of the individuals, Mike Koval, as the assistant varsity football coach. I want to make a point of clarification tonight that Mr. Koval is going to be hired as an assistant varsity football coach, period. His roles and responsibility will be dictated by the head football coach, as are other positions in that same realm. It is our role, it is our rule, it is our responsibilities to give these student athletes, these great kids, all the supervision and coaching they deserve. We are doing that by doing this. But it is also our responsibility that the district has everything in our power to provide a safe environment throughout the entire district for everyone. Students, staff, community members, and this also includes football games. It is my responsibility and administrative prerogative to carry this out as a point of clarification.
Thank you, Mr. Corby. Additional discussion?
Is this number 3 as well? Could we say more than 2? I just wanted to make sure that we say number 3 as well.
You're right, yeah.
This includes number 3.
And should we make a motion and then second that?
The person who seconded it can just affirm.
I'll affirm.
Okay. Yes.
Number 3 is on the next page. Thank you. Any further discussion? This is a unanimous roll call vote. Your vote will be recorded in affirmative unless I hear nay or I abstain. Motion carried. Moving on to our next Human Relations, Director Erdman, please. We have an action and a consent item. And consent items.
Number 1, motion to approve the following appointment. Elect and appoint Gary R. Messinger Jr., the Superintendent of the Northern Lebanon School District, for a 5-year term, beginning on or before October 14, 2019, pursuant to the terms of the Superintendent Employment Contract, and in accordance with the school code, and further, that the Board President and Secretary be authorized to sign the agreement.
Second.
Discussion? Mrs. Martin, roll call vote, please.
England,
Yes.
Murray,
Yes.
Bucks,
Yes.
Sekelic,
Yes.
Erdman,
Yes.
Sal,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
all in favor. Motion carried.
I am pleased to now welcome officially Mr. Gary Messinger to Northern Lebanon School District. If you have not had the opportunity to look on our Northern Lebanon website under the Community tab, you will find an area that started about a year ago that's entitled Viking for Life. And on that website, you will see these words: "A Viking for Life is a graduate of Northern Lebanon who has contributed positively to the legacy of the district and its community." And we are very pleased tonight to bring home a Viking for Life.
Not the same size I had when
You can skip it.
Thank you. I am extremely humbled. It is incredibly touching to be able to come back to the place that you went to school and live in. Sorry, I don't get emotional too much, but this did it. The outreach from the community has been tremendous, and I appreciate all the well wishes. I look forward to getting to know everyone more than I do already, and listening, and hopefully there's so much potential here, taking us to a place that the days of, I remember my father as a principal, and how proud he was to be here at Northern Lebanon, and Dick Wendler, and Mr. Garris, and those administrators that were here for so long, and it was a place that people wanted to come to. And I just look forward to the opportunity of getting us back to that place where people want to be, people want to stay, and people are proud to be a part of. So thank you so much for the trust you put in me. I have nowhere to go, so I better do a good job. That's all I can
Encourage everyone to stay following the meeting for a small meet and greet to get the opportunity to talk to both Mr. Messinger and his family this evening. I would also like to recognize Mr. Flip Steinauer, who has graced us this evening. He has helped us through the process with IU13, and he led our search and was able to connect us with Mr. Messinger. So thank you so much, Mr. Steinauer, for coming this evening and for your support of the district.
It's been an honor to serve work with all of you. Thank you very much. Congratulations, Gary.
Okay,
Dr. Erdman?
on to numbers 2 through 8 are going to be consent items.
Second. Discussion? This is a unanimous roll call vote. Your vote will be recorded as affirmative unless I hear nay or I abstain. Motion carried. This is an exciting time for us, especially in August, when we have so many individuals come to Northern Lebanon. If you are here this evening and you have just been officially made a Northern Lebanon Viking, we'd like you to stand at this time and introduce you to your Northern Lebanon family. Is there anybody here this evening? Okay, excellent. We'll go around the room. We'll start over with you.
Mashana Cunningham, full-time school nurse at Woodville Elementary.
Welcome.
Megan Savani, counselor at the middle school.
Derek Hitz, English teacher at the high school.
Mark Fingerman, middle school health and phys ed. John Confer, athletic director, assistant middle school principal. I'm excited to be here, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming this evening, and we would encourage all of you to stay afterwards, introduce yourselves to all the board members and administrators up front. So thank you for coming. There is some information there as well. The 2019-20 staff listing was provided to school board members highlighting transfers for the year. So we did have some transfers as well. We'll now move on to our interim superintendent's report. Mr. Corby, please.
Thank you. As you probably know, we welcomed back our fall sports participants yesterday. I've been told that things are going great. Thank you. These are great kids. They're kids that could not be participating, doing whatever. They're out there in the fields in August, and it's much appreciated and recognized. But a special thanks also goes out to some very important people. Mr. Comfer was here yesterday bright and early. He got around to all the practices, met the coaches, met the players, met the staff. Much appreciated, John. Thank you. But there's also other people that are in the background that make it happen, and if they weren't around, it does not happen. People such as Zach Irby, Zerby, Christine Fellows, Amy Hope, high school administration, Mrs. Hassler, Dr. Wanger, and of course the grounds crew. If you've been outside in your lawns, the weather and the sun and the August have taken some effect on it. Our fields are pristine. Much appreciated to Mason and your group for making that happen. Thank you. I know I will forget some people. I apologize, but that's what it's all about. People coming together for our kids, and Northern Lebanon does it extremely well. It's hard to believe that I've been here for about 7 weeks. Time sure flies, but I want to sincerely thank everyone for the warm welcome I received from day one. Everybody has been incredible. Anything that I asked for, anything that came up, you have done it, and quite frankly, done it well, extremely well. Gary, you're very fortunate. You're inheriting a great school district with individuals have pride in their work, in themselves, and in their schools. I wish you the best, Gary. You've inherited a great group of people. And this board, thank you for the faith you put in me, and the support you've given me every single day. Thank you. And this team, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Corby. On behalf of the board, we would like to thank you for what you've done in this past 7 weeks. You really stepped up to the plate and has assisted us during a really transitional time in the summer. I think that's one of the most difficult times in the year. So I really appreciate everything you have done. And on behalf of the board, I'd also like to thank Mr. Brown for the transformation to this room. It looks fabulous. Really like the new setting for board meetings, and you've done a wonderful job, you and your crew. So thank you for that. We will now move on to reports of representatives. Career and Technology Center, Director Klein, anything to report?
Nothing to report at this time.
Thank you. Director Murray, anything from IU 13 you'd like to report?
No report, thank you.
Mr. Steinhauer, anything you'd like to report for IU 13 while you're Legislative PSBA Liaison, Director Sekelic.
I don't have a report this time, but I hope to have a really great report next month about some charter school reform that is now at Governor Wolf's desk, and I look forward to hopefully sharing with everybody next month.
Thank you for that. We will now move on to our public input session for items not on the agenda. Again, 4 minutes. I will call your name. Please state your name and your address. Mr. Corby will again keep time. Meredith Myers.
Good evening. My name is Meredith Myers. I live at 7 Township Line here in Fredericksburg, 17026. I'm here today on behalf of a transportation issue that has come to light between the Learning Mill Center and all the elementary schools impacted by Northern Lebanon District. First off, I am so disheartened to hear the lack of compromisation that this district is willing to do for the directors and the staff of the center. They have gone above and beyond with those kids to be able to provide a safe and reliable transportation, since this district this year has decided to not provide them transportation to their home schools. The staff has gone, yes, like I said, above and beyond with the time, effort, money, and research to make this happen for the students. And still they are finding ways to shut them down with making unsafe and unrealistic drop-off time windows for the students of the district. I find it downright disrespectful, especially when they have worked with this district for years, being across the school from Jonestown. The students, with that being said, the students are starting in a week and a half. The letters are out for the meet the teacher of your classroom. When are we going to find out if we are approved or not approved for my child to go? Why would I take her to meet her teacher when on the first day she's going to be turned down with a different school under new stress, confusion, and a totally different atmosphere? You're throwing them into unknown environments on their first day, and we're all confused. We have a lack of communication on this issue. Not to mention stressing out the rest of your teaching staff. This learning center has over 30 children. Are they ready at East Hanover to take on 30 new kids that they weren't expecting today? As these letters are now out and ready and their classrooms are ready to announce to everyone? And I do hate to say it, I hate to know that I know the research on it, but because of my graduate studies, I know that this district is lacking in test scores. And again, I just say, I really just hope that if that decision is true and all 30 of those children are going to East Hanover, that they are ready, and that staff is ready to support, and that my child's education is not jeopardized in any way. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker, Lauren Yannick, drop-off times and daycare transportation. And as we spoke, 4 minutes.
Hi. I'm not going to speak too much on the transportation piece because we're kind of beyond that at this point. I just wanted to say that because the district has decided to discontinue transportation for my childcare facility because I moved out of the Jonestown Elementary jurisdiction, I had to purchase a bus. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to do this. Trying to think, put a positive spin on something that I wasn't expecting. And then as we started looking at it logistically on how one bus, because that's all I can afford, I'm glad I could afford that considering the short time that this was kind of put on me. Fredericksburg is 15 minutes drive time from East Hanover. I have to supply transportation to Jonestown, Fredericksburg, and East Hanover. I've been working with the district now. I had a great meeting earlier today. A lot of positivity was going back and forth. But logistically, I'm still hitting a wall. So I'm asking kind of for 2 allowances from you guys, just to kind of help meet me halfway. First is, I really need to start the route at 8:20. So what I'm going to do is drop Jonestown students off at 8:20 with a staff person, so that they're all supervised, and we'll stay in state ratios. So if I have more than 12 kids, I'll drop 2 staff off. But we're not allowed to go inside, I'm finding, until 8:30. And at 8:30, if my children were to go into a school, I'm being told that they have to buy breakfast in order to enter. We provide breakfast. They don't need breakfast. I just don't want them out, for me to be able to make all 3 stops, I need, kind of some help from you guys. I'm not asking for you guys to staff for my children that I'm bringing. I'm supplying that. But I'm concerned come the winter months, being out in the rain and the snow and the cold temperatures, for that 10 minutes in the morning. And guys, the afternoon is pretty bad. In the morning I have some leeway with drop-offs because I can kind of start the route when I need to. But in the afternoon, I can't start the route until the first school dismisses. So that's at 3:10 in East Hanover, and then I've got to get all the way to Fredericksburg. Students are going to be waiting, probably 3:35-ish. If everything goes according to plan, I have to drop a staff person off at 3:20 at Jonestown and sit with those kids outside because, again, we're not allowed to stay indoors. I don't think I'm going to get to those students until 3:45. So that's a good 25 minutes that they're going to have to, again, stand outside with a staff or 2 in the cold temperatures, rain, snow, all of that. So this is kind of a Band-Aid. I'm actively trying to support the district and the reasoning for everything and the fact that you guys were in a transitional period.
Thank you so much for sharing. McCoy, items not on agenda.
So I'm speaking as an advocate for a parent, so take that in mind when I read this to you. In November of 2008, my wife and I were called to the school for a meeting about our middle school child. We arrived at a meeting and was blindsided by the high school male administrator, accusing her of masturbating in a classroom. We explained that she has a documented medical diagnosis, and the action she was doing was not a sexual act, but a coping mechanism that she has always done and that the elementary school has known about and have been working to help her find a different coping mechanism. But the school supported staff had not even reached out to ask an elementary school about this issue. Our child had an IEP. From this and for this, and we were told the action had all but gone away and were talked into dropping it to a 504, which also was being ignored by teachers because our child was called out in class and embarrassed in front of all of her classmates.
Ms. McCoy, I would just provide a caution that you not share confidential information about a student that would be personally identifiable to anyone in this room.
I have the information and the okay from the parent, which is why I'm reading it as an advocate.
I'm just giving you that caution because this board is not going to engage in confidential discussions about another student. No other parent in this room would want us doing that.
Which also is being ignored by teachers because our child was called out in class and embarrassed in front of all of her classmates, and the 504 was expired. The administrator then asked if she was being sexually abused at home. We again stated her medical health diagnosis and went to the bathroom, and the male administrator told my wife that if this behavior did not stop, he will have to expel our child. As soon as I got back to the room, the male administrator changed his tone in the meeting and as if he was trying to scare my wife while I was gone. Then asked if she maybe has an enlarged clitoris. This question was way out of line and way above this person's right to even being asked.
Ms. McCoy, we're going to shut off your mic. You can't talk about things that could be assumed to be vulgar or profane in the public. So to the extent that you're going to continue...
The problem is...
How do you think that made me feel when a male administrator said that to me about my 11-year-old child? I'm sorry that the word clitoris makes you uncomfortable, but imagine how it made me feel.
There's a proper forum for discussion about a student's confidential information. There's a proper forum to discuss things like medical and sexual information, and that's with the administration of the school district, the individual sitting next to me, not in a public forum. So I'm going to say again, discussion with Mr. Corby would be the appropriate way to discuss this information, and additional meetings as necessary would be the way to address that. To the extent that you're going to continue.
It's all been done. It's all been done.
Then that's the appropriate forum for this discussion.
Due to the fact that this family feels that they are not heard, and they are not doing anything, and you have violated state laws and IEPs and 504s and First Amendment and anything else I can come up with to be able to do that.
Your
It's
time is finished.
ridiculous.
Thank you.
Of course it is, because you interrupted me for 2 of it.
Thank you. Mr. Murphy?
This is what happens when they get scared. Shut everybody up. Oh, I view it.
That's when we go to mute.
It's unfair now.
Andrew Murphy, I live the same place. Welcome, Mr. Messinger. Welcome to the district. Congratulations on getting your new position. As you see, we have a lot of work to do. You are in a district now that, for the past couple of years, has a budget going in the negative. They're borrowing money that they have already, and they're taking more money, spending more money than they're bringing in. That's a problem that needs to be fixed. Because if it goes too far, you can't pay your teachers. You can't pay your electric bills. It's just simple. If you don't have the money, you can't pay your bills, they're going to come after to collect. And this board keeps raising taxes, thinking that it's okay. It's not. You have a culture in this school of bullying from students and administration. That's going to be up to you to change because this board has not done that. So hopefully, and I wish you luck because I wish that you will change this school and get this back to where every student feels safe coming in these doors. Where students don't have fear of reprisal. Where they don't have to worry about bullying. Where they can enjoy and be proud of coming from Northern Lebanon. Let's get that back. And I'm hoping under new leadership, you can go through your staff, and if your staff doesn't change to follow your lead, I hope you can weed them out to get a better culture in this school so that it's good for the kids.
Is there any new business this evening? Prior to adjournment, I would encourage everybody to stay. This is an exciting time. We would encourage you to meet Mr. Messinger and his family and take time to get to know our Viking for Life. If there is nothing further, then I'd like to adjourn the meeting. Meeting adjourned.